Hi everyone and welcome to you in this podcast in which I will explain to everyone how to learn a new language effectively, efficiently, and quickly. I'm a speaker of 5 languages and I'm an expert of language learning, and by education I'm a linguist. So I will talk about my experience of learning Russian. 2 years ago, I started learning Russian, and now I can express myself so good in Russian to the extent that people sometimes think that I'm just faking being a foreigner and that I'm a native Russian speaker. Добрый день всем! Сегодня я вам расскажу, как я успел за 2 года выучить русский язык и нормально на нем разговаривать. Ну, короче, как я объяснил на английском, много думают, что я только обманываю, что я носитель русского языка, но на самом деле я не носитель, я только учил его за 2 года. Ну, конечно, не могу на 100% себя выразить на русском языке, но как минимум я могу очень хорошо разобраться на русском. Alright, so I just explained what I said in Russian for people who don't understand Russian. So, basically, for learning any language, there are different methodologies, and the most appropriate methodology that I would recommend to anyone is to immerse yourself in the target language. By target language, I mean the language that you are aiming at learning, the language that you are planning to learn. So I have a lot of strategies, but my favorite one is what is referred to as shower conversation. Let's imagine a person in the shower, and in the shower, because you are relaxed and it's your comfort zone, you start imagining yourself in different situations and trying to perform a discourse or trying to act like it's really happening and try to make sentences in the target language. So this is very effective, and of course I believe that the best way of learning a language is going to a country where people speak this language and going out, discovering, hanging out with local people, and of course doing a lot of other things like reading, listening, speaking, like developing the different skills. There are a lot of people out there on YouTube and everywhere else saying that they speak like 17 languages or something crazy like that. I can tell you that don't get misled by these people, because they're just liars, you know. So most of these people who say, oh, I speak Russian, Mandarin, English, French, Arabic, Korean, along these languages, these are just liars. Maybe they know a couple words from different languages, but they cannot know these languages perfectly, because not even perfectly, they cannot even express themselves enough in these languages, because it's simply not possible. Learning a language for a normal person, maybe in a normal person, takes some time, because this is a process of memorizing and understanding how the language functions. And the language is not only words, it's also syntax, it's also the semantic part, it is also the grammatical part, it is also there are a lot of levels, the sociolinguistic part, so society, there is like the mental processing. So it's not as simple as it may seem to be. Me as a linguist, I have a deep understanding of how language functions, and I just study different approaches of how the syntax functions, like in our perception of the world. So there is the assumption that language influences the way we conceive of the world. Like, you can check Metaphors We Live by Lakoff and Johnson. Very, very interesting point of view about language. So this is just for specialists in this domain. If you are not a linguist, just don't bother doing that. So I will be giving some recommendations on how to learn the Russian or English or any other language. So the first thing is, you gotta start listening to the language even if you don't understand it. So when I first went to Russia, I started just listening to Russian videos, Russian learning videos that are purely in Russian. Even though I did not understand anything, I kept listening to them over and over and over, and through time and through the process of learning, reading, and like other activities. By the way, I learned Russian by myself without a teacher, and I started understanding. It's like a communication with the language. You're communicating with the language itself, and then the brain is trying to break down the sentences. The brain is trying to make its way through it. So I really recommend doing this thing. It really works. You have to be passionate about everything that you do. So no matter what you are learning, you have to be passionate. You have to like it. You have to love it. If you don't like it, if you don't enjoy doing it, you will not go far away. So you need to have a motivation for that. So one of my motivations was, of course, like many people wouldn't dare say that, but one of my best motivations was picking up a Russian chick, because Russian girls are generally very beautiful. So this was just one of my motivations. Anyways, I love the Russian culture ever since I was a kid, and I wanted to learn Russian, so I was motivated to learn this language. I had a motivation. I hope that my wife will not come across this video, otherwise I will be dead. Alright, so you have to sit a motivation in front of you, and go for it. English. So for me, English is just a foreign language. A lot of people around think that I'm a native English speaker, but I'm not a native English speaker, though, like, for natives, I guess my accent is very noticeable. I started learning English when I was 14. I started officially speaking English when I was 18. So when I went to university in Morocco, and the whole study program was basically in English, so I had a full immersion into the English language, which is very, very important. Full immersion. In many countries, learning a foreign language includes classes where you speak about the target language in your native or first language, which is not correct. So the best way of learning a language is speaking only the language, is stressing yourself, making yourself obliged to either speak that language or not survive, which is a very good way of simulating your learning abilities, because this is basically what happens to the kids. Because when the babies are born, they start to realize what's happening around them, and they start crying, and it doesn't work, and that is why they develop this very important, beautiful tool that we call language. So they develop language and they speak language because they need to survive, they need to make their lives better. So the best way is full immersion. So when I went to university, the whole program was in, like, purely just in English. Even in the administration, when we went to the administration, when we talked to the dean, when we talked to the organizers around, everybody spoke English. Plus we had foreigner students who spoke only English. So the paperwork, everything was in English, which is a thing that I recommend for everyone who want to learn a foreign language, even though they don't live in a country of the target language. So at the age of 18, I started learning, and now I'm 25, and I'm already speaking. I'm speaking my mind in English. I can really speak English so fluently. I'm even doing a video. Well, basically, I have another channel which is in my native language, which is Darija, the North African language, but I don't think it would be interesting for you. So if you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section. If you have any recommendations, like anything, if you want to get in touch with me, I will just leave the link to my Facebook profile in the description. If you like the content of this video, which is just a free talk generally, just give it a thumb up. If you don't like it, please give it a thumb down so I can just correct myself, and please give me your feedback. Thank you, and see you soon.